let's just sew whatever. Okay, I am super excited today to be cutting out the Harlowe crossbody by Cherelle Laron. This bag is stunning. Unfortunately, I'm going to be simplifying it just a little bit. So I am not going to be doing all of the flap accent tabs, the strap keepers, etc. I would love to. I don't have the hardware on hand, so I think it'll be nice to show you that you can simplify it. I'm going to start by cutting out the pieces that are only lining so that I can get that out of the way. And then I'll kind of plan my bag pieces because I didn't do that. So I am using Renew Canvas from my website. This is recycled water bottles. It does have a wrong side. You can see there's like a white cast when you scratch the wrong side of this one. And then it's a really soft feeling lining fabric. I get the scraps, so mine is dirty and has little scrapes. It's okay. I also do not need to interface this lining fabric, so that is another reason I enjoy using it. So we'll go ahead and get started on cutting that out. I also have the cut list over here that I can mark off as I go. And we're on pattern piece E. We just cut one. I thought it would feel a little less overwhelming to start with the lining. So that is why I'm doing that. And then this piece, I'm just going to clip to the pattern piece because I only need the one, and this will help me know what it is later on. Okay, so gusset lining, piece M. We need to cut this on a fold. I was inspired by my friend Tiff to make this bag. I've oogled it lots, and after watching her make it, I was like, yeah. Well, I didn't literally watch her, but she was keeping us updated as she made it, and I was like, I could make that. So just going slow, and then I am cutting into the center. Just a little snip. So gusset lining was piece M, and I don't need any interfacing on it. And I'll just clip that together for now. And we have our back panel lining. Ooh, pretty close. All right, that won't work. We do have the interior zipper pocket. That's a measurement given. Okay, I think I can make this work. And I will mark the bottom center of this. And we only needed that one, so we'll clip that together. And then the interior zipper pocket. Just one. So I'll grab my ruler. And then if you are worried you're going to forget what this is, just label it interior zip on the wrong side. All right. I'm like, great, I did it. No. All right, so we can look through our exterior pieces and see which ones need lining. So I need lining. These are exterior only, exterior only. I need a lining and a lining. Come on. We need lining for these. Yes. And if you are concerned with being able to just kind of cut your pieces out by hand, just trace around slowly. And then you can either cut it out by hand or rotary cut. Okay, this is our front slip pocket. And we'll need this out of exterior fabric. So I'm going to just place this back in my exterior pile. And we can mark off, that's our front slip pocket. Oh, it says use a non-fraying material, but can't really do that for the lining. Kind of curious what our lining main panels are. Because there's nothing that I needed to cut two of for the lining. Maybe we piece it together. All right. I do think I'm going to add kind of my own flourish to the front panel to kind of mimic the way it's supposed to look, and I'll just add a little accent piece and put the binding over it. And then magnetic snap marking. And this will need our exterior. And then I will do the same with the crossbody strap. I'm just going to do kind of a standard crossbody strap, either a 4-fold or an accent over top. Okay, so we've got our flap, back slip pocket, and then we just need one front panel. Back slip. And that is the front panel. Okay. And looking at the cut chart, that is everything that we're going to need for our lining panel. So now I can kind of think about the exterior, because nothing necessarily says to cut out of one fabric versus the other, so that's a choice you can make. Part of me wants to do the flap in this material because this is a nice thin vinyl. This is the mid-weight luxe that I carry on my website. So this is going to be a really good binding. It's going to have like a decent amount, I don't want to say a decent amount of stretch, but it has a little bit of stretch. So I was thinking, if this is my front panel, then I could cut a little strip to put down the center, and then have this as my accent. So that could just be the front. I could use that as the piping and this as the rest. So flap and piping. But the front slip pocket is a non-fraying material, and so I feel like it would be nicer to have something that's a little bit thicker. So maybe I'll do that, but maybe, yeah, it'll be broken up by the black. So that'll be good. So then my gusset pieces in the upper back panel should also be the silver to kind of give it a pop, or would we want it to be more subdued? And the same for top stitching. Same for top stitching. Yeah, because then it's not too thick at those points. So the strap end tips, I'm omitting the buckle strap end, I'm omitting strap keepers, omitting front strap, buckle strap end, front, I'm omitting, but I am going to cut that 1.5 inch wide piece that'll go on the flap. I'm gonna start cutting this out. Yes, yes, yes. So we'll cut that out a little bit. I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna just work my way down the cut list. But I also want my strap to be out of this. So the crossbody strap shows to be 2 separate pieces, but I am just going to cut it at one, and it's a 3/4 inch strap. So I'm going to cut this along the side edge. I'm not going to do a double-sided strap. Meh. I'm going to grab my 18x3 ruler and slide this up along the edge. And when I get here, I'm just going to hold my rotary cutter in place, move the ruler, and complete. And then, before I get too far, I will measure my center mark and add double-sided tape. Okay, and then double-sided tape. If you prefer, you can use a little bit narrower of tape along each side of the line or on each edge of the strap. So that's good there. So we're still going to need crossbody strap connectors. Okay, I see. I don't know about that. Crossbody strap, just the one. So, strap connectors, pattern piece H. Let's see. Gotcha. Okay. I do need that piece. Paper. So cute. So this piece will need edge coat. Technically, I guess it's optional, but I also really love the flap accent tabs, but I'm also like, ugh, I don't know about that. Again, they're beautiful parts of the pattern, and they're what make it really unique. They're just not something I have a lot of time for. Okay, where did the piece literally just go? There it is. Okay. So you need to cut 2 exterior and 2 Decaville light. Okay. So I'll make these out of the silver. I think that'll be nice. So flap and front panel. Oh wait, this is all Decaville. Ah! Yes, okay. So if you're worried about the direction of your print, keep that in mind when you're cutting this. And then this is a nice straight edge that I just cut. So I'm like, get all my piping out of the way and whatnot. Probably, in which case I'm working from the bottom up, but it is what it is. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So we're gonna do binding strip. Ooh. Tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. That's okay. Make sure that's lined up. And go slow. Move your hand on the ruler as you go. Okay. And then we're going to measure half of that. One line down the center. And then I'm going to use 1/4 inch wide double-sided tape. 1/8 inch double-sided tape. I was like, oh, I don't want to go get it. And I'm doing that again kind of in the middle on each side. You don't want it to be so close to the edge that you would see it. You want it to be right about where you're going to top stitch that bad boy. Oh, it's going to be so fun. Ah, can't wait. So that's our binding. And then we have some piping, strips to cut. But my piping is going to be that. So I can't cut that. Front, strap, buckle, strap, and front. Those are 2 different measurements. So I'm going to cut the front accent piece that I'm going to cut 10 inches. Hmm, 10 by 1.5. Okay, I'm going to do 10 by 2. And then we'll measure the center and add that double-sided tape in the middle. And that'll be my flap accent. That'll kind of give it a nod to looking like the original while being a little easier than the original. So I can kind of cross that off. Strap keepers, not doing. Okay, buckle, strap end, side, I'm not doing. Strap end tips, unfortunately not doing. The flap accent tabs, not doing. And then we've got our strap connectors over there, and then gusset. So let's do gusset. And these are on the fold mirror image of each other. So if you want your print to kind of be directional, keep that in mind. And if you do not want to cut this on the fold, you do not have to. What you can do is you can trace it. I am just moving very slow to cut this out. And then I'm gonna just make a little mark at the center. These will need to be interfaced. So I'm gonna lay them on my heat press. And again, we're mirroring this. So one should be pattern piece face up, one should be pattern piece face down. I've got this nice straight edge with a good pattern repeat. Alrighty, so that is all that we're gonna need of this piece. So we can go ahead and slide that into our pattern piece container, or if you'd like, you can keep it with your pattern piece. That was our gusset. We cut 2. They are mirrored. You don't need 2 mirrored, you need a total of 2 that are mirror images of each other. Upper back panel. Upper back panel. I kind of wish there was a measurement for this because it does seem like a rectangle, but yeah, there is not. But it could be that it is not a rectangle. Okay, and this will need some interfacing. So, put that on the heat press. We don't need this again. So piece F, back slip pocket. Okay. So these little chunks here would be absolutely perfect to cut out all your little flap accents, buckle strap ends, all the things that really make this bag a unique, fun piece. I'm sorry if I'm doing it a disservice. But you could be like me and think, man, I really wish this bag were a little more approachable as a beginner, so maybe that'll resonate with you. I can cut my, nope, I'm doing connectors out of that. And the front panel does get Decaville, so setting that over there. That was our front panel. And now we're doing our back slip pocket, which does not get Decaville. Okay, we also need lining. So I'll put that in this pile to cut out the lining. No, I did it. Yeah. Goodness. So I'll clip these together. I'm really excited to make this bag though. I have one other cut out, but I think I'm going to start with this one because I have hot pink thread on my machine and it's going to be, I almost said fire. It's going to be fire. But, I mean, yeah, it will. Okay. Cute. So I imagine we can clip these together. For later. So I think that's it for this vinyl. So you could definitely use a prized material for this pattern because it's not going to use a ton. And now here we are. I'm so excited to use this glitter. I've been needing to test it. All right, and this flap gets covered with binding, so if your edges are a little marked, that's going to be okay. so beautiful. I'm gonna die. So that was our flap. Now the front pocket, I'll want to mark this on the back side. So I'm just going to rough cut it, and then it does suggest to add a little bit of edge coat, so I may do that. And then we'll cut that out nice and slow. And then before we start to sew, we'll give this a little edge coat. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, technically, you could make it, like if you cut it a little bit bigger, you could make that a non-raw edge. You just need to cut out 2 exterior and 2 deck of a light. And I guess 2 3/4 by 3/4 pieces. All right, so I'm just first making sure this little piece won't have any gross spots to it. Should be good here too. And then you want to be really careful cutting this one out. Turn the item, not the scissors. That way you get a nice clean cut. Try not to lift and move if you're not good with scissors. Like, just slowly close your scissors as you go around that edge. And then we'll be edge coating this after we stitch it. So those are going to get interfaced with deck of a light over the whole thing. I don't think I really need to cut that out again. I can just interface it and then rough cut, then yeah. Okay, and then 3/4 by 3/4. So just a little guy. It seems insane to me. Like, wait, what? All right, so that's it, except for our interfacing. So Decaville Light, I feel like you could definitely use SoFuse plus maybe ProFuse, depending on your materials. But yeah, we'll go ahead and use Decaville Light because it is beautiful. And then I have a ton of little scraps that we can use to cut out Decaville Light for these pieces. So I'm just putting them fuse side together, trimming around the edge. And then you may even want to use an iron to press that instead of your heat press, just so it doesn't shift. But what I'm also doing is I just press that up against the surface of my heat press so that it won't shift. Okay, and then again, press that into place. That's it for that scrap. All right, so that was full strap connectors. Okay. Piping. I knew there was something I was missing, so we're gonna go back. Sorry. And I'll cut it out of this area because I've already started. Alrighty. And then you're gonna cut a piece of the foam welt cord to each size, and we'll sew that in later. I'm so excited to use this. I feel like it's so hard to find the perfect piping, truly. Ooh. Two. I almost feel like I didn't even need to like actually cut out those little pieces. Like I would have had plenty right there. Okay, and then another that same size. And like this one spool is gonna last you a very long time. Very excited to have this. Put it up there. All right, so that was those 3 pieces, and now we can move on to the deck of the light. I don't think I need this, so I will put it away. Well, it's gone forever. All right, so now we can kind of work from the top down. We'll start with our flap stabilizer. And that Decaville light really defines the shape of these pieces. So you want to be as careful as you can cutting them out. Now I'm going to fuse my Decaville light to the lining. Well, I don't know, am I? I don't know, I just feel like my vinyl is so sturdy the way it is. That I'd rather that be on the lining. And just make sure you're fusing that to the wrong side. I'm just pressing that to the top of my heat press to get it where it needs to be, and then I'll press it later. So that's it for the flap stabilizer. Front panel stabilizer. We can kind of nestle those together to save. And where you'll need to fuse these is given in the pattern. So make sure you read that over. I say not having read it over much. The other night I was in bed reading it and I got through all the prep stuff and I was like, whew. I don't think I can do all those fiddly little things right now in my current state, mental state. So I'm going to simplify it. And I know if I'm feeling this way, other people are likely feeling that way too. So I decided to simplify it. This goes to our front panel. And remember, this is a drop-in lining. front slip pocket. Center all that. Back slip pocket. Okay, the back slip pocket would just get woven interfacing, but we do not need it with the materials we've chosen. Back panel. So I think we can get a stabilizer from up there, and I'll be able to get this back panel stabilizer from down here. And then just like our gusset pieces, this is going to be cut mirrored. Okay, hold that to the top and fold that till it's the center. There we go. One more piece. And I cut this one this way, so we need to flip this over and do this one the other way. Dang it, I'm like, I know I have a long scrap in here. I don't think it would work, no. Darn. To cut this in this direction. So fold the top there. Hopefully you can still see this. That would help. Alrighty. I'm 70% sure that's everything we need to cut, at least based on the pattern piece or the pattern instructions. Now we can press all of that. And just make sure that you don't press too long. You don't want to melt any of your pieces. I'll have to do my flap lining by itself because it's a much thinner fabric. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the way that's interfaced. I think that'll feel nice all together and give it some good structure. So we'll just need to get our hardware ready, and then you'll be ready to sew up the Harlowe crossbody from Cherelle Patterns. I'm super excited to make this. I hope someday I can do the more complicated version, but for now I'll stick with simplifying it just a little bit for my mental abilities at this time. Okay, bye.